Hello beloveds, welcome. My name is Natasha and this is the home of Embodied Spirituality. I'm here to support light workers, cosmic change makers, heart-led visionaries and new earth leaders to integrate in their awakening process and actualize their highest potential and dharma in this lifetime. I'd like to briefly touch on and expand upon what I shared in one of my more recent short videos about global mission optimization being complete and how we are now moving into an execution phase of our global missions. So for some context, yesterday I watched or rewatched Interstellar, and my soul has been guiding me to watch Interstellar for about 2 weeks, and I kept resisting it. But I watched it yesterday and I absolutely loved it, so much more than the first time I watched it. And I feel at the moment a little bit like Cooper, who's the protagonist, floating around untethered in space. That is how I feel right now. I feel very much as though my consciousness is expanding in such a way where I don't have a steady foundation to rest upon, to stand upon. Oh, hello! Dogs! And essentially what this means is we're at a threshold. Those on my fractal who are resonating with my messages, we're at a threshold where all familiar frameworks and ways of relating to ourselves and in reality are dissolving. So the way that you might be experiencing this is very well established identity structures and ideas about who you are, even like a cosmic awareness of who you are. You may have still ideas about that. Any ideologies, any beliefs, anything that's mental or conceptual about who you are or the nature of reality is being dismantled. And therefore it means that we don't feel we've got anything sturdy to stand on. And I like that imagery of Cooper from Interstellar. And if you don't know what I'm speaking about, I really advise watching Interstellar. It's very activating at this point on our journey as well. Helps to, as a film, it helps to, I feel, make us lucid and aware of the multidimensionality of our experience. It may help to snap you out of an experience of feeling stuck or stagnant in certain areas of your life. Contact is also a great film for this. It's another cosmic film, very activating. So there is this sense of feeling like I'm just floating and revolving and rotating in like this kind of multifaceted dynamic experience where there's no solid foundation about who I am, what the nature of reality is, because all of my pre-existing ideas have been blown apart. And so naturally for the ego and for our human self and our human interface, this can be quite unnerving. It's like if I don't have anything solid to stand on, if I don't have a foundation that feels robust, solidified about who I am, how do I orientate myself? How do I know where to anchor myself, what to anchor myself in, if I don't have a solid foundation and if I don't have a tethering point? And that's the whole point. That's why we're going through this kind of cosmic consciousness upgrade right now, this radical reformation of our awareness, because we've been identified with such degrees of limitation that it has been impeding our capacity to evolve consciously as a species and to actualize our potential as creators. And so life is now shepherding us with some degree of rapidity and force towards paradigm shifting, belief dissolving experiences, so that any and all ideas, mental, conceptual, ideological ideas about who we are and our reality can be dismantled so that a more cosmic, dynamic and multifaceted direct experience of who we are can be embodied in and as. So we are being encouraged to let go of any and all ideas about what we thought we were supposed to be doing, any and all ideas about our identity, any and all ideas about our life and our relationships, and let what is organic, what is true, what is present lead the way. So it is moving out of a very kind of like structured and rigid way of being to a much more fluid and dynamic way of being and expressing. One which honors our dynamism as beings, our multifaceted nature, our cosmic origins. So the way that I'm kind of seeing this in my third eye is like a sphere, a glass sphere. Whereas before we've been viewing life on terra firma, on land, looking up from the land at a firmament. That firmament is perhaps our limiting identity that's now being dismantled. We've been looking up, trying to understand from that limited vantage point on the ground who we are at a cosmic level. Well, now the divine is shattering those firmaments. A firmament is a glass dome. The divine is shattering those firmaments so that we can actually recognize, hey, I don't actually have to even be on the ground. I have the capacity to rise and actually see beyond the firmament of limitation and to look down as a cosmic being, as a multidimensional being, as a creator being, down at my human experience, to gain a much more broad and clarified perception of who I am and why I'm here. And so I am seeing that we're moving from being rooted and anchored on terra firma, kind of solid ground, like this is who I am, I am my mind, I am my body, I am this identity, very linear, very logical, very practical, very pragmatic, very 3D. Firmaments and domes of deception and illusion are being blown apart. We're rising to see, okay, wow, my whole orientation and vantage point is changing. It can feel quite disorientating, but I'm able to see in ways that I couldn't see before. So as I was watching Interstellar last night, yesterday was huge for me. So much was being downloaded. And as I was watching Interstellar, I was just channeling the whole time light codes. And it was as though my soul was using the medium of the film to try and really, at a very, very clear level, illustrate the shifts I've been experiencing and to help my human interface make sense of them. And what I kind of have been experiencing is that, wow, I've been experiencing my even like awareness and my awake states in a very 2D way, in a way that felt flat. And now my understanding of myself and reality is being given even more dynamism. It's becoming third dimensional. It's becoming a sphere that I am like able to see from all angles within and around, rather than a 2D plane that's flat, that I'm looking up at the truth from a limited vantage point. It's like I've been cut free. Gravity is no longer binding me to this old identity structure, and I'm now just floating and looking like, whoa, I didn't see things from that perspective before. Whoa, hang on a minute, like my understanding of time and space is totally changing at an embodied level, not just at a conceptual level. And that is just blowing open my understanding of the truth And this is what happens on our awakening journey over and over and over and over again. That our allness is limitless. And any and all ideas, concepts, beliefs are limitations. And so until we are able to rest in unwavering presence and alignment with the truth of the now, with body vehicles that are open and receptive to high frequencies and energies, and not just, vibrating at the level of fear, until we can rest in that, we're going to continue to move through perhaps quite jarring system upgrades. And so the reason I'm sharing this is because you may also be feeling this. You may also be feeling like, I am at a precipice, at the edge, and what is before me is totally unknown. I have no framework, no frame of reference for where I'm going and how I'm getting there. And the hows and the whats and the whens and the wheres, all of that is being called into question because you can feel that you are starting to operate from a totally different state of consciousness, and you're not perhaps fully adjusted to that yet. It will happen. We're just feeling our way through this process as it happens in real time, as we awaken from the dream of Maya in real time. So if you're feeling this level of dynamism and cosmic consciousness that is quite difficult to compute at a human level, you're not alone. You're right on time. And the invitation of this is to abandon any and all ideas that were rooted in your conditioning or your fear-based programming, so that your true and authentic frequency and energy can now guide your path forwards. That is why all of these firmaments of limitation are being blown up. And that's why we're being untethered and sort of released from very rigid identity structures, so that we can actually evolve in a way that is love-based, joy-based, creator-based, dynamic, organic. And so in that recent short that I shared about mission optimization being complete, we've been moving through a really intense period of nervous system healing, because we cannot embody in our kind of soul's highest potential. The soul cannot embody if the body doesn't feel safe. And that the body doesn't usually feel safe because there's a lot of survival stress or traumatic imprinting, emotional stagnation and pain that needs to be released before the body vehicle is open and receptive to higher guidance and higher wisdom and our higher selves. So we've been moving through a really intense period of nervous system regulating, having structural elements of our lives and relationships blown apart to see any disempowering dynamics, codependent dynamics, areas where we're leaking our energy, ways we are not yet in sovereignty. All of that is being revealed to us and has been revealed to us during this time of preparation. And in that short, I shared that now we're in an execution phase. That doesn't mean that we are totally fear-free. That doesn't necessarily mean that you feel 110% confident to move forwards with your Dharma without any doubts, any confusions. What it does mean is that your system and your body is at a level of readiness to begin operating from this more exalted software, so to speak, of joy, of love, of creation, of truth, of authenticity, of integrity, that you've cleared enough gunk and programming where you no longer will be caught in those fear-based conditioned loops. You can actually move forwards now with awareness and consciously choose your path forwards, rather than the path forwards being dictated by your conditioning because you're running on autopilot. So when I said we're ready to execute, what I meant was it's time to start taking action. We've been doing the inner work, we've been downloading the software from our higher self, if you like, of who we truly are. We've been upgrading our consciousness, expanding, and now we're ready to take what we've been learning, digesting, assimilating. I recognize this is all very technologically focused content, but that's how I'm receiving it, and vocabulary. We're ready to take all of that which we've been receiving and digesting, and we're now ready to apply it. We're ready to apply it. We're ready to start living from it, embodying it, enacting whatever we enact from that space. We're ready to let that which is true and authentic lead the way. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean we're free of fear. It doesn't necessarily mean we're totally confident, clarified in all that we do all the time. But we have enough space in our consciousness to allow this, you could say 5D, that's how some people are referencing it, this higher state of consciousness, 5D plus consciousness, this exalted consciousness, this awake, lucid consciousness to lead the way. So the invitation now is you're standing at the edge of a precipice. The images I've been shown recently in my third eye has been, one book is closed, the book of who you thought you were and who you used to be, and a new book is opening, and it's totally uncharted territory at a soul level. You're totally at a pioneering edge where you are free to create. You're free to create from joy. You're free to lead and live from a space that empowers you. That's your free will choice now. You've cleared enough of the content that was keeping you stuck to see that you have that choice. It's available to you. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Doesn't mean that you won't feel fear about it, but the choice and timeline is available to you now. And it's up to you to claim it. You must choose it for yourself. This is what spiritual mastery is about. It's qualifying ourselves to know our divine nature, to know God, by choosing love over fear, by choosing faith over doubt, by choosing aligned action over fear-based stagnation and procrastination and denial and avoidance. We qualify ourselves for this path. That's what all of the great masters have been mirroring to us and modeling to us. That we have come to earth to self-actualize and to qualify ourselves for our highest potential. No one else is going to hand us that on a plate. No one else is going to do the work for us. It's time for us to spiritually mature and to take charge and dominion of our own experience on earth as cosmic creator beings. And we're being given that opportunity now. We are being given the opportunity to mature and to wake up to this and to live from this and create from this. So you're standing at this precipice, and the invitation is to allow the truth of who you are now, not who you were, not what you wanted, not your old desires, not your old relationships, not that which was anchored in the past. Allow that which is true now at a deep soul-based level to guide you forwards. That might mean that your entire reality shifts, where you live, who you're in a relationship with, who your friendship circles are, how you communicate and communicate with and respond to family, your work, if you work, what you do for work, what your value system is. This is a shift that doesn't happen in every incarnation. This is the incarnation where you get to choose and change it all, if you choose that for yourself. This is the incarnation where everything changes if you have the courage to choose it. And you have that opportunity now. And your soul is ready for you to take charge, to allow the divine to guide you and not fear. And so it's time to stand at the edge of this burgeoning chapter and epoch for yourself and humanity, and to let the frequency and the energy of empowerment and sovereignty and love and truth and joy and creation lead you. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Who do you want to be and connect with from that energy? That's your task now. And to completely allow any ideas about what that might look like to be blown wide open, and allow your guidance to direct you. Not your ideas, not your concepts, not your past conditioning about what you think is possible, but allow the infinite creation field to direct your energy. Allow the all to direct your energy, all possibility, all potential, the infinite now. We are Cooper, floating untethered in space, cosmic consciousness online, awareness of our cosmic origins beginning to really start coming into our awareness, a recognition that we've been living under such limitation, and we get to change that now. How exciting, how liberating, how empowering. What will you choose for yourself? What is your soul ready to actualize in, to experience, to express? What is your sovereignty ready to declare to the world, to share with the world, to emanate into the unified field? Allow all ideas and limitations to subside, and allow all that which is true and present to guide you forwards. I'll be sharing a cosmic consciousness light language activation, so keep an eye out for that. This will be a transmission to support you to start establishing your connection to that cosmic starseed consciousness and those origins at a multidimensional level, so that that vantage point and that level of freedom can start to support and guide you at a human level. It's been an honor and a pleasure, friends. Fantastic work here on Earth. So much is shifting, so much is cleared, so much is opening. It's just absolutely beautiful to witness. And now we get to take action and really start to experience what we came here to experience. Lots of love, and I'll see you again in the next transmission.